Welcome to Shido Spaces. It's Friday and we are back and we're gonna add some speakers and Daddy Phil as a co-host, I believe.
GM.
Got Open Loot as well.
Gumoron, as they would say in Sweden, I believe. How is it going? Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with yet another amazing space. I hope you can hear me well. I had a little bit of a rough time with connecting my mic, but I think it should be fine now. How is everyone doing? We've got a great show today for you. We're talking about the next generation of builders, a topic that is super interesting, and I'm not really sure where we will arrive at uh, talking about these things, because I truly believe we are, well, not we, I'm a bit of a too ambitious person, but we have some of the most amazing people building today and especially tomorrow. So that's what I want to focus on today. What can we learn from people building in the space, from people understanding the space in a different manner, even differently than we do, people that have been here for more or less a good chunk of time? We've got a great pack of panelists today. What a packed space, actually. Our stage is totally packed. So let's go through with some of the quick introductions. I would ask you and urge you, please keep it short because we've got a lot of topics to cover and a lot of guests. And I want to provide all of you a fair amount of time to provide your point. Let's begin with my man, Mr. Maxig. How's it going?
Okay. So GM, everybody. My name's Max Maxi. I'm community manager at XRocket. XRocket is a CEX on Telegram and also social fi platform. So why XRocket? You can easily trade, send, and receive crypto without leaving Telegram. That's it. CAX on Telegram. Thanks for having us. I'm curious about today's topic and ready to discuss it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Maxime, Maximilian. Who knows
Uh,
what your
yeah,
full name is?
also me. Yeah, can call me right.
A man of many names, but one project. That's X Rocket. We've got Easy.io. Long time no see this account. Jared, directly from God knows where, because he's not revealing week in and week out where he is tuning in from. But we don't care because the opinions he provides are priceless, no matter where they come from. How's it going, Easy?
Yo, glad to be here. Thank you. Um, Thank you, Shido, for hosting us as well. EC is a next gen launchpad and growth engine. If you're looking for opportunities to get in early on promising projects, do check us out. We launch them all the time. And if you're a project that's looking for a launchpad or whatever it is, wherever you are in your project cycle, we can assist you. Do check us out. Send us a DM and we'll get to you immediately. And looking forward to this conversation. Uh, Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Looking forward to it as well. We got a good ground to cover and very interesting stuff to discuss. Open Loot in the with the voice of Ryan has joined us as well. How's it going, Ryan?
Good morning, everyone. OpenLoot's a Web3 gaming platform. We have 7 fantastic games, and we have some announcements that are coming up in Q3. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned indeed. Die Network. I'm not sure who it is on the Die's.
It's Joyce
But how's it
here.
going?
It's
How's it
Joy.
going, Joy?
Doing good, doing good. So, hey everyone, I'm joined from the network, where we are building a decentralized, emotionally intelligent AI agents that interact across the platforms, like secretly, privately, but with a strong commitment to user autonomies. And yeah, that's a little bit about us. And our goal is to bring empathy and intelligence to Web3 using our AI to protect users and help make decentralized platform more accessible. And I'm really excited to dive into this topic, the next generation of builders with all of you. Thank you and hello, growth.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for joining. As always, glad to have you, Joy. Bazaars, welcome aboard. How are you feeling this Friday?
Feeling great and a bit sleepy because it's already 11 p.m. here. Hey everyone, Akai here, the CM of Bazaars. And Bazaars is a decentralized P2P marketplace where you can buy and sell products. So if you love shopping, online shopping, how about we use your crypto or utilize your crypto to shop digital or physical products on Bazaar Setup. And if you are a business owner, you want to expand your reach on Web3 space, you can sell your products on Bazaar Setup. All you need is to verify yourself, submit an ID, your socials, and you're ready to sell your products to Web3 pips. So, yeah, thank you for inviting us here. Excited to tackle the topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Oh, am I disappearing? Oh, no. No. Okay, all good. All good. All Gucci. Treble. Hello there. Rob, how are you?
GM, and yeah, Rob here, one of the co-founders of Treble. We're the first V4 Dex on base. Our goal is to be an all-inclusive DeFi hub. We do have our cross-chain launchpad, contribute from any chain, and funds ends up on base. Cross-chain swaps, and we're integrating a whole bunch of cool automation tools. And I'm very excited to talk about the current space because I've been in crypto for since 2016, and back then, the building space was completely different than it is now. So it's right now we're having Gen Zers working with us, millennials working with us, even some Gen Alphas coming on. So a lot of different variety of personalities here. So very excited about this type of talk here.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great topic. I firmly believe so. And it's super, super interesting. Pradeep, how's it going, man? Long time no hear.
GM, everyone. This is Pradeep. I'm with PAI3 Network. We are a containerized, private, permissionless, purpose-built AI network with the objective of enabling businesses of all sizes, professionals, doctors, lawyers, dentists, traders, gamers, to run AI safely inside their environment, inside their business, while keeping the data private and essentially monitoring and managing what the agents are doing with your data, as well as enabling consumers, billions of those who are out there not yet using AI, to safely use AI containers where they can run AI agents while protecting their identity from prying eyes. And we are very excited to be here. We love being part of Growthy's X Space. So thank you for having us. We have a lot of very exciting news coming up. So keep a close eye on what PAI3.ai is doing. And I think you will find some very exciting things that you can do and benefit from. So again, looking forward to this amazing topic, which is very pertinent. And as Rob just said, all kinds of people, all kinds of generations need to join up and are joining up. So great topic, great X Space. Thanks for having us.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely incredible having you here, as always. Miai, how's it doing?
Good morning, guys. You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Kay from Prague. I'm the project lead for MIAI. The MIAI is an agentic AI system. We mainly focusing on right now with her system for content creators, creating new contents daily, automation, and also new ideas of generating revenue. So this is MIA's purpose. But as a company, as a startup, we are mainly doing AI agents for Web2 Web2 companies, and we have done quite a lot recently. And you can, I believe, in the next couple of weeks, we will also have free AI agents that people can use as a beta, so that we can also get some feedback on it. And we have also a SEX and DEX launch coming soon. Thank you, and yeah, glad to be here.
Glad to have you as always. And final speaker, last but certainly not least, Mr. Cody from Next Moon. Hi, Cody. How's it going?
Hey,
You're
hey.
getting a call. Please meet.
Oh, hey, everybody. My name is Cody. Yeah, I'm a serial Spaces host. Started and founded the Next Moon Project as a platform in search of the next projects that are going to moon. Basically, we provide our listeners with the ability to get unbiased information straight from the project themselves. We provide projects the ability to uh, uh, basically build awareness without having to pay for all of the KOL narratives. We are home to the 10-minute pitch show. So if you've ever attended one of those, it's lots of fun. We also do free exclusive interviews with projects that want to sit down and just have somebody interview them. We also do our own roundtable discussions and a lot more. Soon we'll be launching our what we call moonshot reports, which basically takes all public data available, white papers, GitHubs, all that kind of stuff. And we've built a pretty fancy little algorithm that will remove all of the fluff. It'll determine if the projects are actually doing what they say and claim to be doing. Plus, we also examine to see if they have the key ingredients to be the next moon project. We've evaluated over 200 of the best moon projects out there and found common similarity in characteristics that they all had. Built that into a fancy algorithm and apply that into our reports. So our reports aren't financial advice. They're all for educational and entertainment purposes only, but it does save you a lot of time and effort. So we're excited to definitely get that out quick because it'll help everybody with their DYOR.
Yes, indeed. And that's the main point. Informed decisions is the name of the game, and you got to be informed, ladies and gents. With that being said, thank you guys so much for joining. We're talking about next gen builders. Bjorn, how's it going, sir? Long time no see. How was it midsummer, or what was the festival or the day off that you had?
Yeah, good talking to you again. Yeah, I missed last Friday because we had a holiday. So I had a couple of things I needed to attend. But now I'm here again. It's Friday, and I really like this topic. It's interesting. So looking forward to the discussion with everybody.
Yes, indeed. And let's start with you, Bjorn, actually. And so before we start, guys, I really, really would appreciate if you could do it through a show of hands. Please make sure to raise your hand if you have something to add, and I'll call up on you and all the stuff. You know the drill. You know the drill. You've been here for quite a while. Bjorn, let me ask you this. What truly defines the next generation of builders in Web3? Is it about tech skills? Is it about a mindset? Or is it about something else entirely? What do you think?
My personal opinion, I mean, the space has evolved vastly over the years, and I feel that some years ago you could more easily getting away with just having coding skills, and now it's so much more competitive, and I feel that the builders today, in order to be successful, they need to be hybrid. They need to have some tech skills, but they also need to have some economical skill. They need to have some marketing skill. They need to have a community approach, because otherwise you will simply not make it. You could see some, like, let's say Ethereum, an older conservative project. You can see their X feed, which is very, you could say, boring and lack of content. And then you can see the new ecosystems coming up, like whatever, if you say Sui and so on. And you can see almost a mimification of also the infrastructure projects, which has a way more community approach, a way more active with marketing and communications and so on. So you can see this evolvement where I think that it just puts a lot more demand on the builders today in order to be successful than what it did, let's say, 5 years ago. So that's a little bit how I think what will define success in the future for the builders coming into this space.
Absolutely. And it is really about a multitude of things and how you understand and also kind of define Web3 on your own terms. Like you gotta have this uh, sort of new mentality, so to speak. It's really, really interesting. PAI Network, I believe you had your hand raised first, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, for me, I think it's easy to like say developers as like the truly defines the generation of builders, but uh to to me the Gen Z, I think they be the next gen of builders because they are, for me, they are curious, like courageous and like deeply connected to the problem they are solving. I have a friend who's mainly doing the research part. He used to be the head of the like researcher, but within like 2 to 3 years, he's went to the market in 2020s, and now he's developing all his skills from like doing all the like BD things, connecting things, also with the also he do the marketing part. So and so now he's doing the with the help of AI. He also can do like UI and UX with just the AI, and then just give them to the like developers to make the projects that he needed. So I think technical skills like matter, but the really defines the next generations is that they have like the different mindset than us. Like they blend with like psychologists and like storytellings, but also with having the AI into them to have like community buildings or even do their content and marketings. So I think we can really see that the next generations is really like developed. They have a space where they're building the decentralized tools that touch like diverse touch the global communities. And we also like seeing more builders who really understand the tech without like human context, but and they can like really scale it like globally. So I think that is a really nice chance to have lots of young and passionate like builders in the next generations.
Yeah, for sure. And I also think it is a somewhat of a telling thing for newer generations to have a different approach. I mean, I don't know what drives them, to be honest. Maybe we can discuss a little bit about that because it's so interesting. I get tired so easily now. I'm approaching my 30s, and it's like I'm like, yeah, AI, it's interesting, it's good, but I got a friend that knows how to build entire businesses in 2 days with AI. He learned it over the course of like last 6 months, and it's insane how much dedication, excuse me, how much dedication, how much the like drive he has, but also the way he understands that, you know what, I can build these products and features and I can just sell them and make a ton of money with that and be fine with it, you know? So he's really cool. And I think that comes from a different type of understanding than we have, because I don't know, real world businesses, regular businesses is kind of like a traditional way of thinking, you know, buy a product, service, generate a product or a service at a cheaper price, sell it for a higher price. I think it's shifting. I wonder where it's shifting
Yeah.
towards. Um,
For me, I think that because like the the Gen Z, they are passionate and they want like to make a lot of money, because you see like the world, everything you need to buy with money. So I think that's a way for them to develop this much, because if you cannot like catch the trend, catch the wave, the younger will definitely like get through you. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons why like Gen Z and the I must maybe like above like 20, from 25 27, they develop like that much.
yeah, yeah, I tend to agree. Jared, I think you were next. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I raised my hand, I wanted to comment on what was said earlier, but the conversation has moved forward. I just want to double click on what was said about founder leading from the front. I think increasingly we're gonna see founders creating their own accounts and doing something called founder-led marketing, which is what we see a lot in on X right now, and essentially what Elon Musk is doing. The founder becomes some kind of KOL and keeps bull posting uh, their project, leaking alpha and whatnot, and stuff that you can't do on the official project account. Uh, you can keep the project account professional, keep it clean, and then have all that bull posting come from the founder account. Like, oh yeah, did you know that we achieved this and this and this? Oh man, this is gonna change the world, stuff like that. And I think that that is a really good strategy in marketing. And of course, you get your community to support community to make memes and content around that. I think that will really work. And I haven't seen this in Web 2, so I think Web 3 is definitely leading the way in this sense.
Yeah, it is. The decentralization or the decentralized growth of the overall ecosystem, as well as the way business is approached here. I think it's proven to be a overall net positive, even though we've had so many, you know, rug pulls, intense amounts of, you know, leakage, terrible business practices from almost every level of society, even. But still, you have people that are genuinely curious, and you have people that are genuinely, I don't know, like it provides. First of all, there's so much free education, you know, possibilities there out there, right? And a space that moves this fast, I don't know how new builders learn to build for longevity rather than just hype. And that's the question. Are we building for sustainability, longevity, and at the end of the day, long term? Or are we building products that fade faster than we would think? Next Moon, what's your thoughts on the matter?
So I actually came over because there was a lot of lender or excuse me, founder led marketing practices being happening. And let's be honest, if you're a developer, you're not really a huge marketer. It's a small percentage of people that are developers that can actually pull it off. But in reality, I mean, if you look at the stereotype or persona of a developer, I imagine somebody that is a very huge introvert that just likes to just get deep into the line of code rather than stand in front of lines and lines of community members talking on spaces and doing stuff like that. So it is definitely a shift in the narrative. I am by trade. I have been doing UI UX design for well over 20 years. And it's actually, like I said, what got me over into crypto full time in 2017. And I have worked with well over 350 different projects during that time, my time in crypto. And it's been awesome to kind of see because, prior to, I would say, 2023, projects did not put a huge emphasis on user experience. There were a lot of bolt-on experiences. There were a lot of, just, hey guys, this is just the way it's got to be. And it was nice to see a shift in narrative and mental capacity and thought process when it comes to user experience. And I think that there's a lot of projects that are starting to create a lot of great seamless user experience because they know that they're not going to get the average non-techie user from Web 2 to come over to Web 3 as a result if their product sucks and it has way too many clicks and the learning curve is absolutely astronomical. And so there are those kind of things. And the point I was going to make to that is it's important to understand that a UI UX kind of designer versus a developer, and they speak two totally different languages, right? And when you get them both in a room, yeah, you can create something very fancy. You can send it over to your dev team, and they will give you the middle finger, saying, "Haha, that's awesome," but no, we can't build it that way, or vice versa. They interpret your designs completely wrong of what it's supposed to be doing on the back end. Um, and so there's a lot of miscommunication, lack of communication, whatever you want to call it. And so I think that the hybrid of people that are going to be coming over, as was previously stated, are going to be the ones that can bridge the gap and talk both languages, because that's where it's going to go really, really fast. If that's an individual, if that's a if that is an AI kind of interpreting that for you, whatever it might be, that's going to be the success. Even in Web 2, that's always been a challenge and a focus, and that is another small number of people. And if you look at what's kind of happening, over the last few years, there's a term kind of floating around there called vibe coding, which is basically using AI as an approach to help software development. And so, it helps those less experienced coders, or even less technical coders, be able to take designs and turn them into code, or code and enhance your design kind of thing. And so I think that we'll start seeing a lot of that vibe coding coming up. Likewise, I think that we will start seeing a lot of what I call the Zapier coders that are going to be making their own flows coming down the pipe here very, very soon, where you'll have a lot of those people want to connect this smart contract with this smart contract. And when this happens, kind of if then I want you to do this. If not, I want you to do that kind of thing. So it's like I said, it's the Zapier effect. And in my opinion, once Web3 can start creating that kind of bold kind of interface, that's where we'll start having a real success with a lot of people getting into the coding world of it, rather than just sitting on speculation and investing and doing things like that, because now the non-technical people can get involved in building newer things, and then we just start the Lego effect of what's out there, what can be built.
For sure, man. We need to be asking the right questions. Customer experience is paramount in any type of industry, especially in such a really weird industry as Web3. Before moving on to other speakers, I want to call up on Mr. Bjorn. I know you have good thoughts, sir. Please share some of them with us.
Yeah, NXT said something there about the narrative shifting a bit, and I agree. I mean, looking at the Web3 space, I mean, some years ago, there was some foundational technologies being built, like a blockchain. And now the challenge isn't to build a blockchain because we're past that. So then the narrative shifts and you come to making it instead meaningful. And that's why you then go into more of a, storytelling and, cultural values and community engagement. You move more into that segment instead of building the first fundamental. And in there is also UI and UX, where you start to look at that all of a sudden, because basically some years ago you were more looking at the back end. So and then the whole shift goes towards marketing, community engagement, and all that. And you could, someone mentioned Elon Musk also. You could see that on Tesla, because before, traditional investors like in TradFi before, they look at like key indicator numbers for decision making, and like the PE number is like super important, and then to see if something is overvalued or undervalued, and then you look at Tesla and it's completely skewed, and everybody's like, oh, it's a big bubble, it's going to burst, it's going to fall, this is not sustainable. But then they are not taking into account cultural values, brand values, social capital, and all that Elon Musk is creating. So there is a new there is definitely a shift in narrative, not only in Web3, but I also see it in the traditional finance as well.
Fair enough. And I really enjoyed, I really like the fact that you mentioned this, because on the topic of just, not to derail the conversation, I just want to mention this. I don't know if many people know this, but Nike, for example, you mentioned cultural value, right? Nike, which is, I mean, you know who Nike is, right? It is probably the biggest brand, one of the top 5 biggest brands ever created. Its stock has been going down since 2021 steadily. It was at 177 and it's going down since 2021 really steadily, down to $72 today. Actually, it's been down 22% for the past 5 years, and I think 23% for the past year. Even though it's one of the biggest brands, and I think people also don't count into that, because there is so much emotional brand equity, potential into Nike. And it really spoke to me, like this artifact type of understanding, more or less. So yeah, especially in the era of meme coins, where we capitalize on tension, where we capitalize on virtually things that we invent, and to say, okay, this is valuable, and well, there you go, it is valuable now, and people pay money for it. Please is one of the biggest examples of that. I can't get over the fact that Please traded so high. Anyway, Rob, you had your hand raised next. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I did find a very interesting point about the founder-led marketing, because that's one of the biggest approaches our team has taken. One of my co-founders, Cliff, he's been running his own marketing agency for in the last decade, and we ended up kind of joining forces. And then I treat my personal Treble Rob account to do a little bit of bull posting here and there, and of course do the things that we don't do in our official accounts. And I will say that this concept has been working quite well, and the community does love seeing founders actually being out there talking, hosting spaces, hosting these places, hosting these vocal and video rooms where you can chat and you can get your community members up there with you, with the founders, asking questions, presenting ideas, and then it makes everything seem more transparent. It makes everything seem more like that every single person actually has a voice within that system. And of course, building the narrative is important with that. You can't just be, you can't just be a food themed Dex anymore and just expect everyone to use you. You got it's cool to create a fun narrative. In our case, we're here to bring treble to the bass. We're doing our music theme. Our AI agent's called Elvis. I'm Rob Zombie, one of the co-founders. We have Buddy Holly, Cliff Burton. So that's definitely been a factor. But I did want to note the biggest pragmatic change I've seen in crypto development, crypto, I guess, people and business over the last few years is that if you would look back 10 years and even less than 10 years ago, some of us who've been involved from that long ago, there was no way for you to have any kind of formal education within this. So you actually have a lot of these crypto OGs, if you will, that have a lot less formal education than these people that are getting involved in crypto coming out of school right now, because they're able to actually go to college, go to classes, and learn blockchain coding in school. Whereas a lot of times, back in the days when blockchain was new, especially when smart contracts were first coming out, a lot of the people, yes, you would learn some things in the university. You may have your computer science degree, but you're not out there learning how to code blockchain inside your university. You're out there in your free time figuring out how this new technology works, and you're innovating and creating new stuff, and then potentially even dropping out of that college because your school can't actually facilitate what you're doing. And that, like, hey, I can learn software engineering in this university, but I don't want to waste my time learning coding that's going to actually slow me down from building smart contract applications. So it's really crazy seeing kids coming out of school right now and even doing these side school projects that are smart contract development. I worked a little bit with the Atlanta Development Center, Atlanta Blockchain Center, well, in Atlanta. I lived there for a couple of years. Went to some of their events, and they're very big about getting Georgia Tech involved in their in everything. And it's been really crazy seeing these specific communities that are very, very blockchain centric inside universities. And I'm sure all of you have seen, things like ETH Denver, ETH Dallas, ETH whatever, and all of these ETH something, ETH City place conferences started out with this fringe college group that wasn't studying blockchain in school, but they thought it would be cool for it to be this club that we're all engineers, we're all involved in some kind of tech development, but we're here making this new cool thing that's brand new. We're not getting credit for it. We're doing this purely as a passion project because we're building the future. And now these kids are getting school credits for this. So it's wild. They're getting internships. Like, we had an intern that earned school credits for working with us just this summer, and it's crazy. I wish I could have been an intern during my university years. I remember in my early blockchain days, I was trying to find jobs for protocols, and then eventually decided that it's better to just start building your own. But yeah, that's my take on that. The change has been so crazy that it's wild when you really think about it.
Man, it has. And the way we approach work, even the overall, I feel like their codes of, modes of operations and modes apparatuses are changing as we move along and like try to understand how and where these lines go in this industry, because we are influencing other industries as well. People are jumping into Web3 and inventing new professions. For example, Spaces host, for example, is a profession. I talk professionally. I talk for a living. This is something that I would not ever think I would be doing 10 years ago, ever in my life, probably five, even 3 years ago. But ever since joining Spaces and joining the Wave3 space, I was like, oh, wow, look at this. There's interesting stuff. You get paid for interactions, engagement, just sharing stuff, and you get like-minded people that really like. I went to NFC Lisbon the other day. It was amazing, great. Not as much as I would hope for in terms of like people weren't as much, but it was so interesting talking with specific people, meeting others, other builders and degens, and it was so incredible because you get this feeling like, okay, we are from kind of the same world, and it's super engaging. in a way, we are, inventing the new way of tech work, so to speak. And I don't want to put too much on my side, but yeah,
Do you mind
definitely,
if I
it's
add
definitely.
one? Do you mind if I add
Sure, go
one
ahead, brother.
comment to that? I'm going to dox myself a little bit here, but in the early 2008 to 2010, I had the opportunity to jump into a new industry called social. I was one of the early pioneers in it, and Growthly was talking about Nike. I worked alongside Tall Daddy, if you know who that is. That's the CEO of
Uh,
Nike right now.
what?
Um,
What?
so,
Old
but
Daddy, that's his name?
or Tall Boy,
Yeah.
sorry, Tall Boy. It's been a few years. Tall Boy. So look him up. Anyways, I working with a lot of these executives out of Silicon Valley. Totally agree with you. And I want to say something that we definitely are in a once in a lifetime opportunity. And for me, I feel lucky enough to be in two different industries that are just starting as well. And to the point of like what Treble was making earlier about school, I speak quite often on the cognitive behavior of online users in social as a guest lecturer at a lot of local universities and stuff like that. And so, what I have found with interns and people that are coming out of marketing, they are not ready for even the marketing side of it. They lack the experience, they lack the knowledge. Like, I mean, some of the basic knowledge that most marketers have, they just don't have, right? And the same thing with what's coming out with the blockchain. He was talking about dropping out and doing the blockchain thing. Abso-freaking-lutely. Like, I got to be careful because my kids are probably listening to this, and I'm preaching to them about going to school. But on the flip side of that too is just like, if the school is holding you back, don't be afraid to just grab the bull by the horns and get it done yourself, because this is a once in the life opportunity for people to establish themselves in the Web3 space. It doesn't matter if you are the world's greatest programmer, the world's the world's famous designer, or if you're just a customer service rep working for a local business. There is a spot for everyone to come over and create a name for themselves. This is where you can turn passion projects into reality and create a full-time gig for yourself. So definitely wanted to add on top of that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff moving on, but now is the time to jump in if you're wanting to jump in.
Yes, we are still early, and this is not spoken and said enough. I think we are still way too early. We still say GM, which means that it's early morning in the space. Although I do agree, hands-on experience is very, very important. But I wouldn't like the thing is, I greatly value education, and if you can do both, you can do both. You should do both. If you can study and work, please do both. If you can't work um, along with studying and you don't need money at this moment, just study and research. You know, no, there's nothing wrong with just studying or just working. If you can pull off both, that's great. But I mean, I'm approaching my 30s and I look like I'm 75 because I'm stressed as fuck all the time because of how much I've been working and studying all the time. So I wouldn't recommend, but do what you feel. Anyway, sorry for my French.
Lotion
Bizarre.
helps.
Yeah,
Lotion helps with that, you know.
it doesn't help my boldness, man. I'm bold. Okay, I don't have any. Okay, I have a little bit hair. I have more hair on my body than on my head. Like, what the hell? Where on my face I have more hair than on my head. Where's the justice in that? You know how young I look if I shave? I look like a baby. I look like a bald baby. This is unbelievable.
Just buy
Anyway,
yourself a Harley. Bald head
uh,
Harley, nobody will mess with you. You'll be rock
uh,
solid.
I think I'm better off buying
Or
myself a
you
ticket to
can always go
Turkey.
to Turkey. I mean, they got pretty good hair
That's
transplant
my
going on.
plan. It's become expensive, actually. I thought it would be cheaper, but it's not that cheap. Anyway, I'll I'm planning to book until if we don't get nuked absolutely all over the place, I'll definitely go and move. I don't want to go through the pain and suffering of my head being pinched a billion times just to get obliterated by a nuke or something, you know. So I'm thinking on it. Anyway, Bazaars up. Bazaars is up next. Go ahead.
So I couldn't agree more to the insights of our previous speakers. Uh, founder marketing is, I think, very essential because the founder basically doxing themselves and promoting their projects themselves. So it creates trust. We know that Web3 space is an industry of speculations. So we have to show that we're doing, we have to answer inquiries, suggestions, complaints of our users. So if it's come, if it comes from the founder, so it has more impact to the users or clients that you are trying to get. And also about Elon, he is very not uh, choosy about what he's hiring, as long as he thinks that he can do the work, he is going to hire that. I saw him tweet about hiring, I think, a mechanic or something to his X space. I mean, to to his company, and he did not ask for educational credentials or diplomas. Wants to uh, he just wants to make or ask the sorry, you just want to make the work done. And also about the about Web3, we are a fast industry, so it's adapting and evolving uh, in in a very fast way. So uh, back in the days, it's more on technical stuff, it's more on numbers, but now it has more meaning. Like Shido said, marketers comes in. It has a story now and more features. Developers make more products out of blockchain. It can be used to different industry in Web2. So uh, really bullish to what Web3 is going to be in the next few years, because basically we're just filling the gap of the previous era of blockchain and so on and so forth. The new generations would make what we are building now better. So yeah, uh, that's what I can share.
Absolutely. Founder-led marketing is very underrated in today's Web3 space. Here at Growthy, we're even coaching for founder-led marketing. We're pushing that hard as much as we can because people connect with people. When I design brands as people because people can only connect with people. People don't connect with LTDs or limited companies or whatever else. They only connect with people with real values, with real beliefs and everything else, with actual attributes. So founder-led marketing is the easiest way, especially the way Web3 horizontalizes everything, the way it's easy to, as some of you were saying, has the biggest founder, like imagine Tim Cook sitting on a space and you could ask him questions. Like that's pretty interesting, so to speak. Pradeep, you were next. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you. A lot of great things have been said, and I think a lot of it is really makes a lot of sense in the current space. I want to bring a slightly different and maybe a slightly controversial perspective, although I'm just looking at the trend lines. The first thing I would say is the software development. Programming is a language, and we have language models that will inevitably get better at the programming as a language, simply because it's a syntax, it can be learned, and syntax is predictable and repetitive. So programming, in terms of writing code, is going to quickly evolve, and it's not just Cursor and others, is going to come much further along very quickly. So developing software is not going to be based upon your knowledge of the language. It's going to be around your understanding of the market needs. So as a developer, as a builder, your biggest task then is not about learning a new language, Java or JavaScript or Python or Solidity or Rust. Your job then is to understand how do you want to formulate your product. So let's take that product, the founder-led marketing, and flip it. Founders need to be out there talking to their target audience to understand what to build, because otherwise, the differentiator that you had before of knowing a language well is gone. So when you look at the world as we see ahead, here are a few things I predict. One, disposable software is coming. Software that's a single use or a finite use versus software that you spend years building and then is used for decades. You're going to see disposable software that is built to solve a specific problem for a specific period and then it's gone. And the reason that's coming is because the cost of building software is going to precipitously drop, which means you're not going to want to build, engineer custom enterprise solutions for a problem that occurs rarely. So that's one thing, is that you're going to see a lot more of the disposable software, which is quickly generated, quickly launched, quickly used, and then it's gone. The second is that the art of building software is more about assembly. It's more about understanding the audience, which then goes back to the whole notion of founder-led marketing and community-led adoption. So the Web3 is going to show the way, in my opinion, how new products are launched, community-centric products, and Web2 doesn't know that at all, doesn't understand it even, how you can do it. But that's the way it needs to be done. And Tesla was given as a great example where founder-led marketing is working. But that, I think, that was already almost 20 years ago. The new product launches will be very different. You will seek to solve a problem for a very finite window. And as long as the cost-benefit ratio is there, you're done. The third thing that I will say is that single-person unicorns, you will see them in the next 3 years. Right now, you have a 10-person unicorn model. Silicon Valley VCs are saying, I don't want to invest in a company that has a bigger than 7-8-person team, because bigger teams are bureaucratic, cost inefficient, and they have a lot of overhead. And you see companies that have, WhatsApp's at this stage, many almost now 15 years ago, 24 people sold the company for $24 billion. But that's going to become just a template. You're going to see actual one-person unicorns prop up, because if you can achieve the balance between coming up with the right development skill using AI, as well as the understanding of your community market, and you can create a big enough community, you got a unicorn on your hands. And the last thing that I will say is that, development, the way we think of software will change. We all think of software, especially those of us who are, and if you go back to about 30 years ago, software used to be thought of in the context of mainframes. Then software was thought in the context of client server. Then software was thought in the context of SaaS. And I remember Bill Gates at a conference saying software will be, pay for use, and everybody's like, what? How can we even imagine that world? But then came SaaS, and essentially everything became software as a service. Now we are talking about a completely different paradigm. Post-AI software isn't going to be subscription-based. Post-AI software is going to be usage and utility and value-based, and you use it, you pay for it, you forget about it, you never go back to it. Subscription model will die in the next 10 years, if not faster. So software builders can't rely upon building something once and just harvesting that software and that subscription model forever. That's not the future. The future is single-use or finite-use software for which you extract sufficient value by creating sufficient value, and then you move on to the next thing. So that's the world I see. And I'll give you an anecdote why I believe any of this. I was involved in the launch of this ill-fated Obamacare, and when CGI in the US from Canada launched the healthcare.gov, and it crashed and burned, and it was a big blot on Obama presidency. And then a SWAT team was put together to go fix and build a new healthcare.gov website, 3 kids from Silicon Valley in a basement and working day and night. And in about 3 weeks, they relaunched it. And everybody was stunned. How can 3 kids do what CGI, the big bad system integrator, could not achieve with a $1.2 billion contract. And if you were to take that same problem today to Claude, it would build you the entire about healthcare.gov in about 20 minutes. So if you think about the acceleration of value, it's really very different. And people haven't yet comprehended that when cost of building something drops, the value associated and the pricing model changes as well. So then to wrap it all up, my daughter's turning 18 soon. She asked me the other day whether she should follow into the IT or whether, and I said to her, look, it doesn't really matter if you're technical or not. You just need to have a clear grasp of the problem you're solving. You need to have a clear time frame around the problem you want to solve. AI is going to assist you all the way there, but you will need to know exactly what you need to do. AI won't tell you what to do. It'll do it if you tell it what to do. And you need to be ready to move and adapt quickly, because whatever you build, somebody else will build too, and relatively the same speed or even faster. So the whole advantage people used to have, my software is better than yours, my brand is bigger than yours, it's gone, guys. The advantage right now is, does your agent perform well enough for the job I want done? Do I trust the agent well enough to let it to do the job? And then after that, I'll never think about you and your agent ever again. That's the future of building, and it's got very exciting opportunities because you can rewrite the rules of software completely. That's my
Hey guys,
Absolutely.
I gotta jump off real quick. Thanks for
Sure,
having
man.
me
Go
on here, you
ahead. No
guys. It's been a
problem.
pleasure, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
The
Have a great day, everyone.
time flies, man. Time definitely flies when you're talking with interesting people. I apologize to the remaining speakers that could not speak as much as they would have liked to. We are short in time, so I have to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining today. It has been a wonderful discussion, and literally 1 hour just went by so fast. I couldn't even notice. I couldn't even figure out. Maybe we do a second part of this talk, because it's a really interesting topic, how we form the builders of tomorrow and what are their mindsets. This is something that, as a researcher, I take very seriously and take huge interest into. Mr. Bjorn, would you like to leave us with some of the final thoughts from your side?
Yes, sir. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's a really interesting subject, and everybody's super smart. No, I just want to say that, the space is evolving fast, but I hear a lot that, what's the whole point of all this? Is it just a giant casino? It's just, a bunch of tokens. But never forget, like today it's Friday. If I'm going to pay a utility bill with my bank today, it will not be paid until Monday, which is 3 days later they receive it. And instant cross-border transactions, that utility alone is huge. So, and that utility alone is enough to make it super important, which you are seeing today with all the banks and the adoption of stable coins and so on. So we are super early because, now regulatory is coming into place. Like 1 year ago, you couldn't even go to Google Ads and try to promote your project because it was not even legal to do so. That's how early it is now. So I think, like someone said, it's a super good moment to join Web3 now, and I agree, because it evolves in a rapid pace. And I just want to encourage everybody to just keep on building.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Keep on building. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you, Bjorn, for your generous hosting and allowing us to speak on these different interesting topics. Guys, be sure to check in every Friday at 3 p.m. UTC. We're hosting these spaces to try to enlighten more people and figure these things out. Make sure to tune in and follow all the speakers on stage. These people are awesome. Thank you so much. We'll be back next Friday at 3 p.m. UTC. Until then, stay curious, keep building, and enjoy your weekend. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.